to the Real Side of Real Estate. I am super excited for you to speak to my real estate partner and friend, Jake DeRosa, today. Jake, what's up?
What's going on? How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for asking. So, hey, can you briefly tell everyone who you are?
Jake DeRosa, been doing it for about 22 years. Been in the real estate space that long. It's crazy because it's funny when I help my friends buy their house about, 15, 17 years ago. And then now I'm starting to help their kids. So I know I'm starting to get old. And so that's when when you start helping previous clients' kids, that's when you kind of have been in the business for a while.
Yeah, just a
Um,
little bit of time, right?
that's it. That's it.
We're
So
always growing younger at heart.
that's it. It's only as old as you feel, right?
Yes, that's right.
Lead a team here in the Sacramento Fair Oaks area. Been leading teams for about 7 or 8 years. Our partners, I'd say my favorite thing is that my core partners on the team, one's been, was 6 years, 4 years, and 2 years. None of them have actually closed less than 20 transactions in any given year, whether it was the market being down 40%, market being up in 2021. They've always thrived in our team. So that's
Mhm.
probably I guess I'm pretty decent at helping people get into business and
So,
have a
and we're
big business.
diving into literally just that, the real side of real estate. So, there's a lot of struggling agents out there. And you were an individual agent and you decided, "Hey, I'm just going to grow a team." What made you make that decision?
I think you got to have the right things in place. When I say that, the right mindset behind it. When I initially started a team, my mindset wasn't in the right space, and my original intention for growing a team is, I did really well. Since I've been in the real estate business, I think the lowest year when I was in production, the number was 29 transactions in a year. So that was the lowest. That was in my first real estate year. Um, and my thought became, well, let's put a team together so that I can make more money
Mhm.
and do less work. The problem with that is that's not how it works.
Right.
In fact, if I'm being real honest with our team, there's probably team members on my team that are making more money than I am and doing less work than I am, right?
Yeah.
Once I changed that perspective to, hey, let's get a group of people, like-minded individuals who want more, who want to build an amazing career in life and build generational wealth, and then my goal just became helping those people achieve their goals. And you get enough good people together that really wants to do that, and they're committed to it, then it's fun.
That is a perfect example of failing forward and figuring it out.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, so you found Place. Can you tell everyone what Place is and kind of how you landed there?
Yeah. So I had a team. How I landed here is I had a team, and I think there's every one of us is a leader. We're a leader of our family, a leader in our community, a leader in our business, a leader somewhere, right?
Mhm,
And there's a thing I call what's called leadership loneliness. This business can really be challenging,
mhm,
and especially when you're going at it alone. And so I started running into that. And so what I did was I wanted to be around other amazing individuals who had similar to what I'm looking for when I bring partners onto our team. I wanted to be a part of that. And so I wanted a partner within my business. Someone else could help me and we could bounce ideas and talk and all those things. And I looked locally. I didn't really find anybody I wanted. And then I went to, back then he was the number one person in Keller Williams, and went and partnered with Ben Kinney. That point in time, it was the Ben Kinney team. It wasn't Place yet. And then he partnered with another uh, person, Chris Suarez,
mhm.
and they created Place. And what Place is essentially a a platform that provides tools, it provides the tech, it provides the services, it provides coaching, back end, front end, all the different things to operate at a high level. And it's for high level teams who want to grow, and high level agents who, I like to think of real estate. I like to have a consistent, predictable business, and it helps our partners have just that.
So that was probably one of the leading motivating factors for you to join Place, right?
Yeah, that it was just it was I wanted to be in the same rooms as people who are have bigger organizations who are like-minded and want to just create something really cool. So really that's the was the big motivating factor, that leadership loneliness, 100%.
Well, I'm super excited that Place is partnered with KW because I love everything about them and what they have. And can you go through and can you discuss some of the specific systems and tools? Maybe not the tools yet, the models that are in place that they've provided for you guys?
Yeah. The cool thing is Place is now 400 teams nationwide,
Wow.
ish more than that, with our own mortgage company, and can't give me details out just yet, but we're soon to have another organization, a national company, which
Wow.
can provide income earning opportunities for our partners. So that's cool. Um, I joined Ben when I was team number, I think number six. So it's been really cool to be a part of the process of building those systems, having input on the systems, whether it was our listing presentations, our buyer consultations, the systems around that, and those different things. So kind of getting into what we do is our real estate, to me, is my business. It's my job, right?
Right.
um, I could easily come in and if I wanted to treat it as a hobby, I'm going to get the results I would from a hobby, some entertainment short term and some results short term. It's like my golf game, right? Like if I'll go golfing and I don't expect to shoot anything. I mean, if I'm just if I have a good day and keep my goal now in golf, I used to play on the golf team, by the way, back in high school, but my goal on the golf course is to lose less than a box of balls. That's it. So I just want to go have fun, right? So, and with real estate, you have to really treat it as a career. I see a lot of agents that come into the business and want to dip their toe, or there's tough things we have to do
Mhm.
to get into production. And depending on how much you put into it, how much you focus on your craft, your skills, your market knowledge is going to determine what you pull out of it as well. So our model is we treat it just like a business. So we come together uh, pretty much Monday through Thursday. Fridays we have an all partner call that the guys they tune into via Zoom, where Chris Suarez talks about inspirations stuff, how to grow ourselves as people, how to become better people. So more self work. And then Monday through Thursday we come in 8:30 in the morning. We actually practice our conversations, maybe coach on some things. Every Wednesday, we do a California all place Zoom call, which I lead, and I'm bringing in guests that have had massive success. Next this week, we've got the likes of an agent in our organization who just kills it with the tools we use. Following her, we have an agent who closed out of Austin. Last year, she closed just under $1 million in gross GCI herself.
Wow. That's
Yeah, insane.
amazing.
Yeah. And that was just through following the place models and systems. And so our model is come together. We do the most important thing in our business, which is our lead generation or business building activities. That's really what it is. Business building activities, which could be maybe you're calling your sphere, maybe you're calling people that are in the database, you're calling into our um, pond accounts where there's, a bunch of leads that people have either abandoned or maybe they put things on hold or whatever that is. And we do that. And then the rest of the day is kind of dependent upon each partner's goals. Sometimes they'll be behind on target for their goals and what they set for that week, and they may be doing some more business building activities in the afternoon. Sometimes they're ahead. It just really depends on what their goals are, what they want to accomplish. But that's kind of our system from a standpoint of how we show up. Models and systems, we have a very simple model. It's like a pie, so it goes around in a circle, has 6 areas. One is our professional network, so people we already know, things like that. What my goal is from a team perspective is to make our partners be the Coca-Cola of Pepsi, or Pepsi of their professional network when it comes to real estate. We have prospecting, open houses. And then on the right side, the business side, we open it up for different avenues. For instance, internet leads, listing leads, ISA, or just any other referral leads that come from our network in place. And each side produces anywhere from 1 to 2 transactions if someone fully plugs into that system and works on those things.
So I know some of your team members are just absolutely killing it right now at a time where other agents are struggling. Would you say that these tools had a significant impact on their business? Because they've joined your team, they ain't gone anywhere. And most people that come on and off teams, they come on and off teams. I don't see that turnover with your team. Can you talk a little about that?
Yeah, I think so. I'll give you a prime example, Michael Brown. He's been with me for about 6 years. He's just an incredible asset to organization, our team, just place in general. And
Right.
one of the things he has done is, I think, really where people get frustrated is there's so many things that you can do and so many different avenues that work, that don't work, etc., that you could literally try and do 15 different things. The problem is you go in and it works. It doesn't work after a week or a week and a half or something like that. What we do is we put in systems and models to make sure that it's going to give results. And what he does, he's become extremely masterful in conversations. And I think that's really where it matters right now, especially right now in interest rate environment, changing environment. And I actually taught on this last Wednesday about we have to change the narrative of our conversations with clients and make the client the North Star of the conversation versus trying to sell why they should work with us. They don't care
Right.
about that. So he's done a fantastic job through the questions, the coaching, the training we provide. That's really like when we talk about a majority of our trainings, like really focus on, hey, what's the conversations we're having? What's that look like, etc.
Yeah, and I can attest to that just scrolling on my Facebook, right? I don't care about the success of I did this, I did this, I did this. But when they start talking about the client and showing their happiness and how long that they've been looking for homes, 2 years looking for homes. I just saw somebody posting on that and it's like, wow, that's touching. Like that client stuck with that agent for 2 years. That was a relationship built, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
The
Um,
other piece though too is I'll share this with you.
yeah.
Is real estate, you get the best results and agents get the best results when they focus on conversation and market mastery, lead generation, lead follow-up, going on appointments, and negotiating contracts. If you can stay in those 5 areas, what happens is, especially with solo Pete folks, is they're so over here working on their website, working on a presentation, working on this, working on that. What we do is just make it plug and play, where it's
Uh-huh.
like, let's point someone in the right direction. And if they're willing to put the effort in and work on the portion of the business building activities and increasing their skill set and working on all those areas, that's where they end up winning. So
Okay. Wow. I wanted to touch really fast on lead generation strategies because I know what
sure.
you teach is a lot different than what others teach. Um,
How so?
well, most lead generation strategies that for instance, I had a conversation this morning with an agent and he has
Mhm.
closed 0 business this year. And I was like, what's going on with your lead strategies? What's happening? Well, my sphere. Okay. Tell me about your sphere. How are you working them in your database? Right. So we have our at KW 36 touch system, but this agent's with a brokerage. He doesn't even know how their database is
Yeah.
working. So it's not working for him at all, you know, and just the sphere, that's only where his mindset is. It's not, there's no broad perspective of I could be looking in these different strategies, strategic
Yeah.
areas as well. So tell me a little bit about lead generation strategies. Um, what you've learned from place, but specifically, right? I want to really show the value of place.
Well, I think it's going to tie in a whole lot with our technology as well. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think or when someone partners with us, one of the things that I focus on, because I remember when I first started, similar to your person, I was the guy who I call it slaying the dragon, right?
Mhm.
Like you want to come in and call all the people you don't know versus
Right.
reaching out to the people I already know, right? And so I would do that. And what it was I would add people and they're like, I'm a while out or not for a couple years. So I just put them in my database, right?
Mhm.
And I remember I had a mentor at that point in time, and I told him, Bob, this is not working. Like literally, I'm calling 500 people a day. I was doing straight cold calls too, by the way. I didn't have a database or like an account with a bunch of people that were somewhat warm or at least knew who I was.
Yeah.
I was just calling you out of the blue and trying to talk to you about selling your house, right?
Uh-huh.
So I think one of the big things is we focus on three different areas. The best place right now to find business is open houses, but there's also a very much a system involved with open houses. That includes the initial preparation for the open house. How do we do that at a high level? How do we call around the neighborhood to invite the neighbors to the open house so that we can meet neighborhood people? Because a lot of times one person puts their house on the market, typically two or three homes follow that. So
Right.
I want those people coming into my open house so I could talk to them. But then also at the open house, what type of conversations are we having with those people? I've gone through, I remember I did a challenge where I went through 100 open houses in a month just to see what people were doing, meet agents in our marketplace, etc. And the level of how they were asking questions, what they were doing was very surprising because the goal of an open house our goal, we go in there, is to add 2 to 3 people into our database that are solid, right? Like that maybe don't have an agent, that are, starting their journey. And also we have a goal of setting a consultation just to learn more about what they're doing. So the conversations have to be high level. That's how you get to pick those open houses. You can do cold calling. I like expireds. I always have. I've always seen prospecting as a challenge.
Mhm.
And I don't think anyone loves getting up in the morning. And they're like, hey, I get to call, 300 people I don't know, right? And
Right.
get told different things and all the stuff. And so we do different types of lead generation, and then our sphere, we have client events that we invite our people to. I think one of the big things is, what you talked about sphere and how you approach that. Well, if you're always calling your sphere and asking them for business and not offering any real value to them, at the end of the day, they're going to stop answering after 2 phone calls. Like, Jake's just calling
Exactly.
me for business. It's a different conversation when I can call them and invite them to a client event where we're hosting
Right.
something
Poker
or
night.
we're doing giveaway, right? Yeah,
Yes.
100%.
Yeah.
And then we have the other side of things, which is internet leads, sign call leads. We have systems and tech. The one thing I'll say is this too is when I say our tech's a huge piece in that, what we do is every one of our people we add, it could be, I met you at an open house, or maybe I talked to you about selling your house and I set you up on what we call market reports. We have a system that are market reports, and we have listing alerts. Listing alerts are going to be similar to the MLS. Our
Hmm.
market reports are going to give them different perspectives on values of their house. Like it's going to show them sales that are happening, what's their home equity position. And we just have a ton of data. We own a data company that we purchased this year. So we have our own data company for expires, for FISBOs, for neighborhood leads, for pre-foreclosure. So we have unlimited amounts of data to have conversations. And real estate at its basic level is really just creating relationships. And the one way to create relationships is to have that initial conversation. So that's what we really focus on, is let's add some nurtures to our database.
Mhm.
And if we do enough, we're going to find people who need something now. And at the same time, we will also be able to set ourselves up to have a consistent business because we're constantly talking to people. I think skills are the biggest thing, and that's what we focus on. And the other cool thing is we focus on with our technology is to find the hand raisers. So if you're in my database and I've been sending you market reports for a few months and you've
Mhm.
never looked at it, then all of a sudden I see you looked at your market report, and I click that market report and I pull it up and I see you looked at it 4 times in the last 24 hours. I'm going to call you because
Right.
that's a intention sign, right? That's like, oh my gosh,
Something's happening.
something could be happening. So
Yeah.
we have different ways to catch signs for people who want to buy or sell, so that we're making smart calls to people and having those conversations. So that's kind of a little bit of insight into our different lead generation methods. I love all of them. And
Mhm.
I'm a believer of, let's get your foundation down. Let's get your your foundation solid, because you build a solid foundation, and that's habits, that's skill set, and
Mhm.
market knowledge. You build a really solid foundation, you can build as high as you want. If you build a shaky foundation where you're missing some things, then all of a sudden you can't build that high and your house starts to fall over.
Right. And this is perfect because this is leading into my final questions that I wanted to talk to you about. It's all about new agents, right? A lot of agents don't know what options that they have available. So they're struggling and they just give up. They go out there and they get another job.
Mhm.
Why not look at the option of a team? So, what advice would you give to struggling new agents who are currently struggling in the industry? And how do you believe that Place KW can help them turn their business around?
Well, first off, I'm always, hold on one sec, let me grab water. I
Okay.
think I swallowed down the wrong pipe there.
Yes, I mean, I've talked to them and a lot of them have that, "Oh, well, I have to split commission," and I'm like,
Mhm.
"Well, 50% of nothing is nothing, right?"
Yeah,
So,
I look at it, here's the thing is I don't even look at it as a split commission. And here, let me share with you why. Actually, in the Millionaire Real Estate Agent, if you were to go to the financial section of it, I want to say I have it bookmarked. I think it's like page 157. They talk about net incomes. And when I look at that, an agent doing up to 160,000 or 180,000, 6 million in volume,
mhm,
typically net income runs around 55%. So you take a look at, okay, all my gross is coming in, then what are my expenses? What do I pay for my signs? What about photography? What about the TCs?
right.
What about the other things? And then I take it and break it down even further into, well, what's my hourly income? And what I find is, because if I'm working on transactional stuff, or I'm working on things that administrative partners can do, like when we list a property, it's once you fill out the coming soon, it's all taken care of on our back end. The internet advertising, the all the things, putting together open houses packages for our team. So what's my dollar per hour? The other thing too is kind of like you said, do you want 100% of a grape or 50% of a watermelon? I'm going to take a watermelon
All
myself.
day long.
And technically, I can assure you in our team that my partners' net incomes that are on the team, because they're doing more business, because they have additional resources, they have less on their plate from a administrative, a TC, a figuring real estate life out perspective, that they actually net more than, I don't know, I would say 90% of the agents in our place here, right?
Wow.
And in the whole landscape.
Yeah.
And so that part of it. So advice for an agent who's struggling, first and foremost, for any agent, partner, or any person who's struggling, find out, look at your reserves. That's gonna be my first thing, is to look at reserves as far as, because really, if you're gonna go all in, that's usually where you're gonna see the most success. We only partner with full-time agents, our
Right.
team. So because there's a lot that goes into becoming a rock star agent. We put all of our partners into the habits, into the resources of a top agent. We don't do it like it's a new agent. We put them into, get them in, form the habits of what top agents are doing, because we want to be a top agent, right?
Right.
So make sure you have some resources to pay bills and things like that. I always recommend a certain number of months, depending on what you plan to do. Um, Find someone who you fit with, a team that's going to support you, right? Who's going to be there for you. We have a walk together mindset here. So our partners, any new agents that come into our world, we're going on appointments with them, listing buyer until they have the buyer down. There's certifications we have through place. And then also too is you want to see success signs, meaning if you're partnering up with a team, there's a lot of teams in the world, and there's a lot of teams, the majority of the teams, what they do is they bring on as many agents as possible, and they do this big number of transactions. But if you look at the per agent productivity, we call it PAP, it's like 5, 3, 4. If that's what you want, and the culture, like if they have a great culture, I mean, I want to make money in real estate, because what I know is money funds my kids' futures, it funds my future purchasing of homes, it funds everything, vacations, everything. And so I'd look at per agent productivity, and then I'd ask for examples and want to talk to those agents. So
That's a really good advice. Well, listen, I know that Place has systems and models on top of what KW offers. And so that's why I really wanted to bring you on here, because I've just been talking a lot and with agents that are struggling, and it's making that commitment to jump in, go full time, having the reserves and the resources that you need in order to take that step forward. So
yeah,
um,
let me show you something real quick. Can I? You
I would
mind?
love that, please. Yes.
I got to be co-host to share.
Oh, I have to co-host. You're asking me to get techie.
So go down to the participants,
Got
click
you.
on it, and then by my name, there's a mute and there's a more button. Click more, and you should be able to make me a co-host.
Advanced sharing, host only all. Okay, did I do it?
Yeah, perfect. So one of the things that we're big on is resources for our partners, and we actually have our own internal intranet. And right here is everyone gets their login. We have, let's say for instance, Marissa, you wanted to learn how to be awesome at open houses.
Okay,
You literally go here. The first thing you see is a lead gen model around the open houses, it's actually taught by Chris Suarez, one of our founders, and
nice.
he just gives you massive things there. Success secrets of supercharged. So I mean, you literally have whatever you need. The open house weekly power, open house upskills. Let's say if I wanted to focus on seller focus, I mean,
Okay,
there's just a library, pricing and CMA, seller tools, home valuation scripts. So um, there's just so much that we have. I have an operator plus agent login, but with the agent, you're gonna get all kinds of things. We have our own spaces within the organization, right? Space for commercial, space. Some of these I don't know about. Space for prayer. I don't know what neuroverse is, luxury, military, right? So
yeah,
so a lot of different options, and this is just our training part of it, right? This is literally, we're our own tech company. We own and manage our own tech, our CRM and everything like that. So it's really, really thorough and advanced. And what we have to offer for our partners is just, I'm obviously biased, but I can tell you right now, it's unmatched in our industry. So
well, it changed your world, so there's that.
yeah,
There you
there it
go.
is.
Okay, so if anybody is interested in talking with Jake, reach out. I've got his contact information ready for you. I'm going to leave it so that you can call if you're a struggling agent and he comes from a place of abundance. So reach out to him. If you're a fit for his team, amazing. If not, he's still definitely going to share value because that's all he knows how to do. He just gives back.
I guarantee worst thing you'll learn or you'll get from talking to me is something you'll learn. You'll learn
Yeah,
something
there
new.
you go. Well,
That's it.
thank you
So,
so much,
all
Jake.
righty.
I
Thank
really
you.
appreciate it.